warehousing and distributing material and product in the proper place and in proper quantities. Logistics management. It is the part of supply chain management that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements.
The markets into turmoil and forced hundreds of thousands of U.S. businesses to shut their doors, Amazon's stock has been hitting all-time highs. Now, more than ever, people are depending on the Everything store to bring goods to the safety of their homes. So, while the majority of Americans follow indefinite orders to work from home or lose jobs that can't be done remotely, hundreds of thousands of are going into its 175 fulfillment centers around the world every day to meet unprecedented demand.
I absolutely feel safe coming to the building every day. I would not be here if I didn't.
But some are staging walkouts because they say Amazon isn't doing enough to keep them safe.
Going into work kind of scares me because we have a silent killer inside of our job, and Amazon is not taking the proper precautions to slow the spread or even stop the spread.
I have to do this. I can't not pay my bills and live my life. But then it was just really uneasy knowing that I could possibly contract COVID-19 while at work and either become ill or even possibly die from it.
Workers have that difficult choice of like, do I go to work or do I and risk it, or do I have no money, basically.
CNBC talked to Amazon workers around the country to find out what it's really like to work inside an Amazon warehouse right now and what Amazon's doing to protect them while managing to keep the vast majority of its warehouses open for business.
On a normal day, I love going to work. I wake up in such the greatest moods, but every time you walk out them doors right now, you're like, I survived another 10 hours and I don't feel sick.
Amazon shipping dock worker Tanya Ramsey sent her son, who has asthma, to live with relatives to limit his exposure. In a blog post, Amazon's senior VP of Worldwide Operations, Dave Clark, called associates like her heroes of the COVID-19 crisis.
There's definitely positives. Like, I went in like, okay, I'm on these front lines. I'm an essential worker. I'm up there with everybody out there still risking their lives. But then it's like, does this kid really need this Xbox One remote? Do they really need this case of Monsters?
So I'm really fighting a virus to send out your toenail clipper, or I'm really fighting a virus to send out your dildo to you. It's things, I feel like if you don't need it right now, don't order it.
But Amazon is also shipping millions of essential items, from food to personal protective equipment and medical supplies. In March, Amazon stopped accepting shipments into its warehouses of anything except essential goods, and many non-essentials have been heavily delayed getting to customers. But now, Amazon is accepting non-essentials into its warehouses again, in limited quantities.
It's hard for them to turn off vendors and turn off sellers and turn off fulfillment capacity, but they think it's the right thing for the world. And the leadership there made it very clear that they're going to put the good of the country, the good of the world, ahead of the good of both themselves and their stakeholders.
Dave Glick spent nearly 20 years in management at Amazon, working under Dave Clark for part of that time.
I've seen Dave Clark get incensed when people in his organization didn't put safety first. That said, he is also trying to feed the world. He is trying to keep our supply chain running, and that's a hard line to walk.
My mom is undergoing chemotherapy, so she hasn't been able to leave her house since December, since her treatment starts. I feel like I'm helping my mom and folks like her who can't leave the house because they're at super high risk.
As the general manager of a 3,500-person fulfillment center in Connecticut, Adrian Melendez is now in charge of getting associates protective gear and marking the building so workers can easily identify 6-foot distancing. He's been with Amazon for nearly 10 years.
We're one of the few large businesses that are getting the critical items people need to their doorstep. And knowing that is certainly something everybody wears very proudly around the building.
So publicly they'll say, we are focused on shipping essential items. Behind the scenes, when you talk to the workers, they're shipping everything, right?
I'm not seeing nothing come through the line that is essential. Nothing at all. No more hand sanitizer, no face masks, no disinfectant wipes, no toilet paper. So we basically risk our lives to send out non-essential items.
France, meanwhile, ordered Amazon to stop all non-essential deliveries, saying it would be fined 1 million euros every day it failed to comply. In response, Amazon temporarily shut down all its warehouses in France, and the EU head of operations has stepped down. Meanwhile, some workers worry about the virus spreading through the items they're shipping out. A study by the National Institutes of Health found the virus is stable for up to 24 hours on cardboard and 2 to 3 days on plastic and stainless steel.